Okay, I hope this is working and we're live. No one's here, but I don't expect anyone to join straight away. If you are watching on catch up or on demand, you can still post questions and I'll try to answer them, but it won't be live. So if you haven't tuned in at 4 or 5 minutes past 1, well, fire them at me anyway and I'll see what I can do afterwards. I will always answer questions on a Friday, so if you don't get the chance to pop on today and submit any questions, that's absolutely fine. I'll do my best to get back to you anyway at the end of the week. Some of you might have joined me a few months ago for a similar Facebook Live. You might also notice that the sign is now reading the correct way. We did buy one especially, so you're welcome for that. So we've got 13 people watching. Thank you very much. The purpose of today's Facebook Live, it's a little bit impromptu. Last week I just thought it might be nice to come on and chat to people about things that are going on here at the airport. You've probably seen that we've announced flights to Paris, which is wonderful. They are starting in October. So it's Sunday, 29th of October, I believe. We'll have flights to Paris with EasyJet. Hopefully people have already started buying tickets. If you haven't, please do. I always say to people, you know, one flight at a time. The more tickets we sell, the more we can turn around to EasyJet and say, look, we've sold all these tickets. How amazing are we? Give us more flights. You know, that is obviously the end goal for us. Yay, a question. Thank God for that. Kay, thank you very much, Kay. Are there further expansions planned? Is this being actively discussed? Oh, of course, it's you know, the main topic of discussion all the time. I obviously won't sit here and I can't relay every sort of piece of insight and information. It's not my job necessarily, it's not my place. But what I can say is that yes, all the time we are in conversation with different airlines, different contacts within those airlines to try and persuade them to come and win at London Southend. You know, we've got a fantastic team here. We've got Star Handling that do all baggage, check-in, we've got our own security, our own fire guys on hand. You know, there's no reason not to fly London Southend, hashtag fly London Southend. And hopefully the more we talk to airlines, the more we can convince them of that. It's just like a bit of awareness, a bit of persuasion, and these things all take time. It takes a very long time. It's like a game of chess, moving all the pieces around, but we'll get there. So yes, of course, always looking to expand, always looking to add more routes, more destinations. Let's see what happens. What other flights are you looking at for winter, Carol? What can I tell you is the answer to that one. People always ask me things and I can't necessarily give you the answer. But what I can say, obviously, as I've just said, you know, we've got Paris now coming in winter. That's in October, and that will be all year round. And that's a great start to our winter schedule. You know, obviously last year we had to close, well, the commercial operation closed over winter just because, you know, we didn't have the flights, unfortunately, but one flight at a time. So we've got Paris this year. Some of you that might follow us a little bit more closely, you'll see quite often on Twitter, for instance, that we post a weekly thread of all the headlines that we've had that week. Headlines being news stories or press releases that have been published. You might see that obviously we're quite open that we're targeting, I don't want to be the first person to drop the A-bomb, but we are open that we are targeting Vacancies. That is, of course, a flight that we are looking to, you know, bring into the airport. It's a target. When we say that we're targeting destinations, then it's not a guarantee. Ultimately, the decision on where to fly, it sits with the airline rather than the airport. So I could sit here and string off plenty of destinations that we would love to have for the winter, but I'm always hesitant to do that because I don't want to give false hope necessarily when it's not a guarantee. So at the moment, Carol, I would love to give you some places that we're looking at, but at the moment, all I am going to confirm is obviously that we have Paris, which is great. You know, who doesn't love Paris for Christmas or Paris for New Year's? I've done it myself. Kay, oh hi Kay again. Good news, great opportunity here. Yeah, they are very busy, you know, but my friends at the other London airports, I won't put them down. It's very tough, you know, when you've got a busy operation, but luckily we are very proud of our queue-free security, and the security guys are lovely. If you've flown through Southend, you'll obviously meet them face to face. You'll speak to the guys at check-in. You'll speak to the guys at security. You'll speak to our cleaning team, our amazing food and beverage F&B team. Shout out to the Sky Cafe, by the way, which is brand new. If you've flown with us in the past, hopefully you've been to the Pilot Bar, which does, you know, alcoholic refreshments, light snacks, all that sort of stuff. But we've just opened Sky Cafe as well, which is more your offering for, you know, croissants, sandwiches, all that sort of thing. So we've definitely got you covered on that front. Karen, any job vacancies? Yes. We recently, I believe, I think we've employed about 25 new people recently. If you have a subscription to our newsletter, there's a little bit more information about that in there. Sign up if you don't, because I manage it, so please do. In terms of job vacancies at the moment, I will be corrected if I'm wrong, but I think there are 3 currently listed, 2 of which are in the tower. So the tower is the air traffic control tower, with a lovely team of air traffic control officers or trainees. My understanding is that we're currently hiring for a new ATCO, which is an air traffic control officer. So those are the genius people that work up in the tower on site and manage the movements of the planes, but in the air itself. So a very intricate job, a very demanding job, but very well rewarded as well. You'll see that I think salaries go up to about 100,000, so I might apply myself. Similarly though, if you don't have experience in air traffic, there is a traineeship also, where hopefully they'll train you up, hence the title, and eventually you will become an officer as well, assuming everything falls into place and it just works out for you. So yeah, there's another vacancy going. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is, so do have a look on our website, which by the way is brand new. So southendairport.com or londonsouthenairport.com, which we will eventually be moving to, just because that's who we are. Makes sense. But yes, if you're looking for vacancies, you'll scroll to the very bottom and there should be a little button in the grey section at the bottom that just says careers. So you'll click that and it will take you to our careers page, a little bit of insight about different jobs, different departments, and then a link directly to the vacancies website, which is currently managed by Eskin. So yeah, have a look. I'd love to have someone in my team, so let's see what we can do. Someone else, any job vacancies? Done that. UK flights. At the moment, no. Obviously, we've got Palma, Faro, Amsterdam, Malaga, and we've just announced Paris. Got to be careful that I don't sort of just say other places and then excite people, but no, at the moment, in terms of UK flights. Lots of people, my list of pre-printed questions that you've all asked, you know, the questions about destinations just go on and on and on, which is fine. But as I've said, I can't really answer them for you. So, you know, people are asking for Alicante, Valencia, Prague, Blackpool. Someone, Paul Fulbrook, said, can you fly to Canvey Island? Paul, anything to avoid the traffic is my answer to that. I don't think it will be happening anytime soon. But hey, what can I do about that one? I'll speak to our development director and see what we can sort for you, okay? But no, not at the moment. No UK flights at the moment. I do apologise, and only currently Paris confirmed for the winter. Let me have a look. Excuse me as I come really close to the camera. Sorry. How far are talks proceeding with the sale of the airport? Dave, I've no idea on that one. That is way above my sort of level, way above my pay grade. It's just my job to talk social media, talk, you know, general activity. The sale of the airport is something that I'm not exactly privy to, but I'm sure obviously whenever there is news that I can talk about online and share with the public, that I will of course do that for you. Everyone's interested, you know, of course, because the airport is such an integral part of the community and the wider area as well, you know, so we'll see what happens, but no one here is sort of concerned. I'm sure talks are proceeding as we would expect them to proceed. Who knows? Okay, Lisa. Hi, oh, it's gone. What do you want to know? Is the journey length / aircraft size limited by the length of the Southend Airport runway? Yes, it is. The furthest I know you fly is the Canary Islands, not the Canvey Islands like someone asked. But could airlines fly even further if they wanted to? I don't know the specifics of the answer to this question, truth be told. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff, clearly. I don't know necessarily if you can fly further than the Canary Islands, but I do know that, yes, there are certain limitations. I'll probably get like a full rundown after this of like, you should know that we fly this far with this aircraft, but I don't know that, and that's the truth. Yeah, so I believe our runway is about 1.3 kilometers in length, which means that, for instance, you couldn't fly direct to America or Asia. People used to fly, so you would do a flight to Dublin and then you would connect to America that way. So, you know, shout out to Dublin, let's see what we can do on that front. But yes, so the length of the runway also affects, I'm going to get this wrong, but like the weight of the aircraft, for instance, so it has to be a certain weight with all your luggage on board to go a certain distance and all that sort of thing. Like it is fascinating, but it does have an effect, which is why, again, you know, when people ask for certain destinations or they say, why can't you just fly to here? It's not as easy as that. So I always say that there are staffing factors involved here and within the airline. There's slot availability, so slots is, you know, when you slot something into your schedule, it's kind of like that. At what point can they slot the aircraft into landing here, as well as making sure it lands where it needs to go in time versus all the other flights that are happening. So that's like slot availability. Capacity, so the airlines are always interested in the number of bums on seats, if you will. You know, can we guarantee that it will sell out? It'll have 100% capacity, which is nigh on impossible. But so that's obviously a bit of a dream, but you know, can we guarantee 80% seat capacity on a certain route? So we'll look back at historical data and say, oh, well, you know, this route to so-and-so used to have X percentage bums on seats capacity, and try and use that to incentivize them to come and fly that route from us, as well as all the other factors that are included, such as what aircraft they've got available, the length of our runway, where they can fly to. Lots of stuff. Karen, you need to get your husband out of the house. Well, tell your husband to book a flight to Amsterdam, or cancel that. Tell your husband to book a flight to Palma. That might be slightly more appropriate. But speaking of flights to Amsterdam, I had a look the other day just to put a little something together. You know, prices fluctuate quite a lot, so the quicker you get on and book a ticket, the better. But there are currently flights to Amsterdam for the end of June that are less than £75. So that's there and back again for less than £75. I can't remember the dates. If you pop onto our website again, there's a press release or a news story, however you wish to call it, on there that talks about that in more detail. So it will give you the date of the travel for that £75 offer, a link obviously to book, but £75 return I think is pretty good going. I believe it's like a Wednesday to Friday, so a couple of nights over in Amsterdam would be a great one. But yeah, Karen, send him to Malaga or you know, Palma, where else we go, Faro, Portugal, and then in the winter get him to book you a trip to Paris. So yes. Douglas, we've used Southend before and it's a great airport. Let's keep it going. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. It's always nice to have positive feedback. You know, social media tends to be a world of, it's not always great. It's not always flowers and roses and that sort of thing. So it's always very much appreciated when we hear a positive word. So I always try and share that kind of stuff internally whenever we do get positive comments. So thanks, Doug. Come fly with us. Right. Here we go. We're getting into the questions that I kind of thought we'd be getting. Bill, what's the plan with the red arrows, etc.? Will there be a car park open? Long stay would be good. People can put in a donation pot for a local charity. Yes, this is all obviously part of discussion points at the moment. Hopefully everyone follows our social media, which is why you are here now, which is great. We were able to officially, it definitely leaked way before that, but officially announce the very positive news that obviously the Red Arrows, the Typhoon display team and the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight will be based, they'll be based back here with us in August. They're not, you know, doing an air show here. The air shows that they are based here for are in Eastbourne and Folkestone. So, you know, last year people would have seen that we had a few apron tours, we had a viewing area open, but we did what we could do very last minute, thinking that, you know, we'll try and manage it, we'll see what happens, let's see how it goes. This year conversations are alluding to more the fact that we've got a commercial operation open again this year, especially in August. We've got an increased commercial operation as well, which means more planes, you know, flying in and out. The jet centre is much busier, which has private flights, so like charter, business, all that sort of thing. And obviously we've got EasyJet flights happening at the same time. So the general consensus at the moment is that We won't be hosting any kind of event, just purely for safety. You know, it's very difficult to be able to organise hundreds, if not thousands of people coming into an airfield while all this stuff is going on. Naturally, there are very, 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 very strict rules about what you can and what you can't do. And it's also important for us to consider the aircraft themselves. You know, we have a bit of a problem at the moment with FOD, so like litter, effectively, coming into the airfield, and that can get into the planes and all that sort of thing. And then for your safety too, you know, we don't want anyone accidentally, not that it would happen, being at the back of a Typhoon when it, you know, starts to move off. So just more from a safety perspective, a security perspective, and the commercial operation having increased. My understanding is that we won't be doing apron tours again this year. But obviously we understand that people want to be able to see the aircraft. Like, they're fantastic. They were fantastic here last year. I would recommend, we do have long stay 2, which is at a much larger car park. It's at the end of, I'm going to get this wrong, the end of runway 23. So as you come into the airport, you would drive all the way around, all the way up to long stay 2. If you wish, you know, like, sort of off the cuff, I'm just saying, if you wanted to, long stay 2, but you would naturally be sort of expected to pay to park, because officially we're not doing anything this year, unfortunately. But yes, so long stay 2. Thank you very much. That would be great. Okay, Bob, and the temporary fence. Yes, the fence gate, I know. It is temporary. We have plans around that at the moment. I did actually check with our head of airside this morning. I was like, they're going to ask me about the fence. Like, what can I say about the fence? But it's ongoing at the moment. There really is a valid reason for it being there. I know it's hard. We don't officially have a viewing area. There's very limited space around the sides of the airfield as well. I know people go to the church quite often, which it's good, but we just have to be very conscious that it's not our property, sort of thing. And same with the golf course, and same with the car park. You know, I know I'm saying go to the car park, but we just have to be careful. It's not an official space for viewing. It's unfortunate that we don't have one. People that say, why don't you just give us one? I would love to just be able to give you one, but it costs, you know, and at the moment we're not quite in a position to be able to just invest in something like that. But yes, so the temporary fence, we are considering what we can do there at the moment. I believe there's conversations around, you know, the fact that it's, I might be quiet, there is an aircraft moving around me. But yes, temporary, more discussions on that are happening. We do want to be able to provide somewhere for you guys, but there's no guarantee. It is, you're going to hate me, it is technically on private land, just putting it out there. But obviously we want you to be able to take pictures of planes, so bear with us. It's very close to the emergency access point as well. There are some yellow fences there, not fences, sorry, gates. And it's very important that we keep that area as free as possible. God forbid anything were ever to happen, that is the spot where emergency vehicles have to come in and out. I believe it's probably like a fire point as well. So when we've got cars parked there that shouldn't necessarily be parked there, it does pose a risk. But that's one of the reasons, as previously stated as well. So Bob, bear with me on that one. We'll see what we can do. Okay. Zara, as I mentioned, it's beyond my pay grade. Is there anyone else available that can communicate what is going on? In terms of the sale, I think it was mentioned in the community newsletter, an update. We also recently had an interview with our CEO, John Upton. He was on BBC Essex. As they did, you know, as you imagine they would, they asked him a question about the sale and he was able to answer. I daren't attempt to quote what he said for fear of getting it wrong. But bear with me, I will, after this, I'll go online and I'll try and find that snippet. If I can, I'll pop it on Twitter and you can all have a listen and see what he says. It comes from a more official source than me, basically. Yeah, but no reason to panic. I'm not here panicking. It's just natural. Okay. Helen, are you going to fly to France soon? I would love to, you know, that would be great. I believe you are, you know, you're referencing some of that we have as a target at the moment. So as I mentioned earlier, you might not have been on the live yet. When we say we're targeting a destination, it's generally because previously or historically it's made sense that we've flown there. So, it's been really profitable. It's always had lots of people on the plane, so capacity has been really high. It's been a regular route, or for instance, since COVID, no one flies there now, so there's an opportunity for us to claim that route. So when we say we're targeting these places, there is a reason for it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this year or next year. We use those press releases as a little bit of a tactic to put that in front of airlines and say, look, here's the support for this destination. Here's what we're trying to do. Come fly with us. So everything we do has a purpose. But at the moment, no. At the moment, we're not going to be flying there soon. Soon, if you consider it to be by the end of this year, then probably not. We're looking more to like the next 3 to 5 years to sort of really recover and hopefully get back to sort of 2019 levels, where I think we were just shy of about 2 million passengers that year, which was fantastic. Hopefully this year we'll get up to about 140, 150,000. That's the plan. So you can see there is a huge difference right now between 2019 and 2023, but we'll get there. It just takes time. I know everyone's frustrated, but it comes from a place of support, and we all want the airport to succeed, and it will succeed. Okay. Are you going to fly to Tours in France? Jan? Same answer. Okay. Simon. I've been travelling from Southend to Jersey since 1961, Channel Airways, British Midland, UK Air. Hate going from Gatwick or Heathrow. Well, don't tell Gatwick or Heathrow you said that, because at the moment, unfortunately, that's where you got to fly from. Jersey is, again, sort of a destination of interest, if you will. It was very, I think the reason we're sort of targeting it is its profit. It was very high capacity again, so bums on seats, all that sort of stuff. So once again, we would love to fly there. We would love to fly anywhere. So, people that say, fly to so-and-so, fly to so-and-so, yes, 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 and yes again, we would love to do that. But bear with us, because we can only fly to one place at a time. So everyone always throws their sort of their destination requests my way, which is fine. Please keep doing it, because what I can sort of do is not compile a list, but I can turn around to our development director and say, look, this is where the demand is at right now for destinations. Lots of you naturally have one place in mind specifically, but I can use that. We can use your comments, your requests to say to airlines, people in Southend want to fly to XYZ, and we'll see what we can do from that moment onwards. Okay, here we go. Just joined, not sure if already asked, any chance of Jersey flights coming back? Kerry, well, you came at the perfect time. I've just sort of touched on that one really, and saying it's a target, it's one that we would love to fly to. Historically, there's reasons why it was so successful and why we would like to see it be successful again. So yes, technically, yes, there is a chance of Jersey flights coming back. Truth be told, I can't imagine it would be this year necessarily, but who's to say? So yes, there's a chance of every destination coming back. It just takes a very long time, sadly. I wish I could click my fingers and make it happen a lot sooner for a lot of people. Okay, here we go. Sue. Hi, Sue. I was really impressed with the changes at the airport. I heard mention of Channel Airways. I worked for them back in the day. Oh, nice one. Again, if people follow us on any social media, so for your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, which we have now, so feel free to come follow us on TikTok, or LinkedIn for the more businessy side of things. Yes, every Thursday I try my best to do, it's called a hashtag Throwback Thursday or a Thursday Throwback, just a bit of a historical black and white, back in the day, image or video or insight or fact, anything along that vein, just to give people more of an insight into what used to happen at the airport, who used to fly from here, a bit of history. And on that note as well, again, on our brand new website, please do take a look. We have got, well, I think it's a really good history page. It's in the corporate and community section. So if you click that in the top corner of the website and then click About Us, there's a timeline on there of our history ever since the First World War all the way through up until just before COVID. I'm waiting for a few more big things to happen before I add to it. So yes, but that timeline, for instance, is not comprehensive. I don't know the ins and outs, which is terrible. I don't know the ins and outs fully of the airport's history. So if anyone's like, you've missed like a major thing that happened, let me know and I'll add it to the history page. Similarly, there are some really nice photos on there that the people in Southend Airport Then and Now, which is a Facebook group, have very kindly let me use. So have a look. It's very interesting, and thank you very much for letting me use your pictures. Okay, Kerry, is it EasyJet or the airport who decide the flights? It's the airline. So for instance, at the moment, we have only got EasyJet flying with us, which is fantastic, lovely bunch. But yes, at the end of the day, it is the airline that makes the decision on where to fly. They choose where to fly, they choose which airport to fly from. It's, well, like the cost of tickets is at their discretion, and then kind of at the discretion of your online cookies, all that sort of thing. So yeah, sadly not us. I'm sure lots of people think it probably is us, but it's not. I do tend to try and reply online and sort of explain that to people, that as much as you say, fly here, fly there, fly everywhere, we can't. As the airport, we just sort of facilitate the flight, as you will. So, you know, the airline comes to us with their aircraft to fly where they wish to go. We just are the base for that to happen, if you will. Trying to think of a good analogy to describe it, but it will come to me at some point. But yes, okay. Wendy, I'm just as anxious and keen to keep the airport going. Good. That's a good start. And secure more flights. Naturally, it will happen. But when airlines have schedules already agreed elsewhere and they only have so many places on their fleet, it does take time. Yeah, exactly. It does take time. I'm keeping everything crossed. Fingers, toes, everything. Here we go. Wendy. Alicante always used to be full though, just saying. Yeah, okay, Wendy. Thanks very much. Right. I'm joking with you, I know, obviously. So I believe I was sitting in on a meeting the other day, and with our development director, and we were talking to an airline, and one of the facts that came up, or stats, figures, and again, if I get this wrong, I do apologise, was that pre-pandemic, that passenger numbers to Amsterdam were about 209,000 in the year. Passenger numbers to Alicante was 200,000. So interestingly enough, flights to Amsterdam were more popular than flights to Alicante. So I'm clapping back with that, Wendy. No, it will happen. It will happen. I mean, it's undeniable. Every day of my social media life, there is the demand for Alicante. There are so many factors involved, as you've said, and as I've mentioned, you know, staff here, staff, airline, availability of when that plane can fly, when it can fly from here, when it can land, versus the other flights that are happening at other airports. It's a very big game of chess. That's how I like to reference it. You've got to get all the pieces in place, and from those pieces are other pieces and lots of stuff to consider. Naturally, of course, we know that everybody, bar a few, everybody in Southend wants to fly to Alicante, so we're never going to give up on that one. It'll happen. When? I can't tell you when because I don't know, but at some point. So yeah, keep with us. Wendy, planes, not places. Well, Wendy, I don't even know where you got it wrong, so I made it wrong. Ah, so many planes in their fleet. Yeah, cool, thank you. Oh, hey, Jen. So Jen is, I'm going to get your title wrong, Jen, like social media manager? Public relations manager for the Vulcan Restoration Trust. Jen, correct me, because I've definitely got that wrong. Yeah, the Vulcan guys live next door, live this way, although you're watching me from the other way, so maybe that way. Yeah, and the VRT is a volunteer-led organisation who look after the Avro Vulcan XL426, which is a gorgeous wartime aircraft. They host a number of events throughout the year, so if you are interested in a little bit of like aviation history or historical aircraft, if I can call it that, it's not really that old, but it is fantastic. It's ginormous as well. I was very shocked when I finally got to go under the wing once. They recently did a twilight taxi run, so the Vulcan went at full speed down the runway once as a test, and then again, and the parachute deployed. It was gorgeous. They're doing that again in September. Jen, if you're still here, am I right in saying that the next taxi run is the 16th of September? please let me know if I've got that wrong, but I think it's 16th of September. If you're interested, you can book tickets already. Vulcan Restoration Trust do have their own website. Just pop on Google and give them a look, give them a go. Almost right, PR and media officer. Oh, it's a combination of the two. I was right. Okay. Cheryl, right, Vulcan, yes, lots of events. They've got proms at the Vulcan soon. They've got a 40s and 50s night at the Vulcan. I'm getting this wrong. And then there's on Father's Day, I do have a post coming about this on our Facebook with more information. I think it's Meet the Vulcan, and they're doing that on Father's Day. So if you want to take dad or uncle, granddad, whomever, to go see the Vulcan, and I believe there's like cockpit tours, so you can climb into the cockpit as well on Father's Day, which would be amazing. Then definitely pop online and get some tickets, because how cool is that? Okay. Cheryl, by choice, I would always choose Southend. Me too. I went to Malaga, Venice, Tenerife, Belfast, Palma with you, and I'm sure there were others. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Cheryl. Yes, we used to fly to 40 or more destinations. The plan is to fly to 40 or more again at some point in the future. But bear with us on that front. The plan ideally is the next sort of like, don't quote me when I say 3 to 5 years, you'll have 40. But 3 to 5 years, we want to, you know, get back up to a really good level and have a bit more variety for people to fly to. So yeah, please keep choosing us. Because if you don't choose us, then we can't say to airlines that everyone loves us and wants to fly with us. So it's a catch-22. The more people buy tickets to #FlyLondonSouthend, the more we can say to airlines that there is demand. The more we can say that flights to the destinations we already have are full, then the more we can sort of incentivize them to think that, okay, either we'll give you more flights to that destination or we'll give you new flights to somewhere else. Ideally, they'll go with option B and then also a little bit of option A. So yeah, keep flying with us. Thank you very much. Tony, going to Palma on Sunday from our little gem. We are a little gem, aren't we? Thank you very much. But we're also a very big, lovely, brilliant commercial operation, ready and waiting for lots of aircraft. So yeah, we are bigger than you think, closer to London than you think as well often. That's another thing that we try and put across to people all the time. Like, if you're in Southend and you follow my social media, you'll laugh. You'll be like, I know how long it takes to get to London from Southend Airport, but I'm not always talking to you. I'm sometimes talking to the airline, so bear with me and let me do my thing, because it's very, very, very important that we demonstrate to airlines that we are super close to London, because you guys are fantastic, and hopefully you will buy tickets and you will fly from us, but there's a huge market there as well in London that we're trying to tap into. Again, you know, the more the merrier. That's why it's London Southend Airport, because the connectivity there is overwhelming. It's so quick, it's so easy. I think it's 53 minutes from Liverpool Street to our station. It's 43 minutes from Stratford, which is London's busiest station, to our station. And that's easy, it's effortless. And I think, you know, if you were to look at a map, people again, they say, you know, how can you call yourself London Southend Airport? And I'll turn around and I'll say, because, you know, we're just as close to London, the centre of, as lots of other London airports. I think we're 41 miles away, and I think Stansted's 39 miles away, for instance. That's my excuse. That's my excuse anyway. But yes. Oh, thanks, Jen. Yes, so 16th September for the taxi run day, the next one. They tend to only do 2 a year, or that just seems to be my interpretation. It was 2 last year, 2 this year. One's already gone, and the next one is in September. Okay, Carol, excuse me. Can you confirm which airlines you are in discussion with apart from EasyJet? Lots is the answer. Lots of them is the answer. No. Sorry, Carol, I can't. I mean, if you turned around and you said a specific airline to me, I would be like, yes, as well as many others. You're trying to get me in trouble with that question. Okay. I'm sorry, Carol, I can't say anymore. I'm really sorry. Cheryl, the local travel agent went to Corfu from your airport during COVID. She gave a brilliant blog about her seamless journey and holiday. Oh, nice one. That's really nice. We're doing something later this month. So the team at the Echo and Great British Living magazine and The Insider, who are a London magazine, They're all owned by the same company, if you will, umbrella company, and we've got a lovely local journalist who will be flying to Amsterdam and hopefully giving us a glowing review. And again, we'll sort of be able to like push that out there online and say how wonderful our facility is and how wonderful our staff is and how easy the operation is. Everything in our power basically to just show off effectively, but in a way that will serve us in the long run. And let's see what happens. Diane, can't wait to go to Malta from Southend, especially handy when you left your passport at home. Did you? Someone said something about passport. Oh, that was a different lady. Yeah, don't leave your passport at home if you want to travel abroad. Definitely don't do that. You'll need that. Was there any positive news to come from the Roots event? Yes, used the airport so many times, just love it. Thanks, Jamie. Yes, so Roots, for anyone that doesn't know, Roots Europe, Roots International, Roots Asia, Roots America Roots Europe specifically is the largest aviation event in Europe, which means that airline reps, airport reps, travel agent reps, tour operator reps, anyone basically that has any sort of effect on what's happening in aviation will attend this event called Roots. I attended, yay for me, just to sort of be able to cover it from a social perspective and sort of give you guys more of an insight into what was going on, why we're there, who we're talking to, what we're talking about, all that sort of thing. When was it? It was at the start of May, and you might have noticed that since then we've announced flights to Paris. Not saying that one factored into the other, but it is a positive. So again, you're able to chat directly to people that work for an airline. So the difference between talking to someone on email and talking to someone face to face, it makes a big difference. And hopefully we sort of came across really enthusiastic, showing off how they can win at London Southend, and fingers crossed there's more to come from that. So yeah, these events are very important because you get that foot in the door with people that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise speak to, and you're speaking to them face to face as well, which is fantastic. But yeah, thank you for using Southend, London Southend, Jamie. Hopefully we'll see you soon. I do have a couple of questions that people submitted. I put this up a few days ago to say, if you've got any questions, fire them at me now and I'll try to answer them for you next week, being today. My lovely unofficial sheet, my piece of paper. So Lisa, hopefully you're here, Lisa, because you asked if you could have a job as a meet and greeter. That would be lovely. I don't think we have any meet and greeter vacancies at the moment, but we do have, I believe, 3 vacancies live right now, 2 of which are in air traffic control, which are the people that live in the airport tower and manoeuvre planes and aircraft, helicopters while they are in the sky. So the traffic in the sky, if you will, which is a fantastic job. You can earn upwards of £100,000 in that job. So don't bother with being a meet and greeter, go apply to work in air traffic, quite frankly. Wendy Barnes, you asked, do I have to take liquids in a see-through bag? The answer there is yes and no, just to be awkward, to be honest. So we have a fantastic piece of machinery which is called Oh, hi Lisa, you are here. Well, there you go, Lisa. Not at the moment, my friend. Although next time you fly, let me know and I'll come say hello. We've got 3 vacancies live right now. We did have vacancies for, I'm going to get the name of this wrong, customer service ambassadors, which is obviously very similar. So do keep an eye out if we're hiring for them again. We have just recently hired across departments about 25 people, which is a very good sign, obviously, for us in the future and all that sort of thing. But yeah, keep an eye on the careers section on the website. If you do click a link to a vacancy, it will take you to Eskin. Don't worry, Eskin own us, so continue onwards. Where was I? Wendy, yes, liquids. We have a machine that's called CTIX, which effectively means that if that lane with that machine in it is open that day and we've got staff on that know how to operate that machine, then no, you won't have to take your liquids out of your bag. You won't have to take your laptops, iPads, phones, all that sort of stuff out of your bag. It can all stay in. It can stay in the tray. It can go straight through, no problem. Which is amazing, that sort of adds into the whole quick and easy experience that we like to really promote. I believe we're one of the first airports to have it actually. 2019, I think, is when it was first introduced here at London Southend. And it's honestly, it's makes such a difference. But do bear in mind that yes, you might be able to go out without taking your liquids out or without them having to be under a certain limit and in your bag. But do remember that you have to fly back again. So just factor that in, that you might go out, don't have to take anything out of your bag, but your return airport might not have that available just yet. And also bear in mind that if we don't have that lane open on a day for whatever reason, that again you'll have to take your liquids out. So, but there will always be someone at security, when they're calling out like to step forward, take your stuff out, there'll be someone there to let you know, don't worry, leave them in your bag, or yes please take them out. So just one to consider. It's like a yes and a no answer, which is a little bit annoying, but yes, it's a good thing. Hopefully one day we'll have every single lane that is a CTIX lane, but again, even if we do have that, the airport you're flying to might not. So just don't get caught out when you do that one. Rumour has it, Alison, that EasyJet are going to be flying to Alicante soon. Hang on. Rumour is in from here, because that's wrong. The fact is that EasyJet have recently announced that they will be opening a base in Alicante. There was a recent press release that they published, which is fantastic news for EasyJet. For us, it's like one more piece in the puzzle that we're trying to put together for Alicante. So if you're saying that they'll be flying from here to Alicante, that is not true. Not yet, anyway. Again, fingers crossed. But fact, yes, they are opening a base in Alicante, which means that overnight, for instance, aircraft will live there. They'll sleep there overnight, which is a very good step in the right direction, because I've always said online that one of the reasons we struggle at the moment to convince them to fly to Alicante from us is there isn't a base for EasyJet in Alicante, and they're not based here either. So we'll see what happens. Either way, it's great news for lots of people that want to fly to Alicante from London, from Southend, generally Southend area. Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. Okay. Oh, Teresa, sorry. Best airport I've ever used. It's good, isn't it? It is pretty good. It's pretty quick. It's pretty easy. We've got a train station right on our doorstep. It's our very own train station. It's 100 steps, 100 paces from the train terminal. The train terminal to our terminal door. Doesn't get much quicker than that, really. So yeah. Thank you. Jane asked, any flights to Tenerife or Jersey? Nope. Can you fly to Blackpool? Nope. Manchester? Nope. Valencia? See, non-stop destination requests. The answer basically is, will always be, as soon as I can make an announcement, like officially from the airline, because they'll say when we can talk about it, then I will. I will sing it from the rooftops for you all. I'll put it on Facebook, I'll put it from Instagram, I'll put it on Twitter, I'll put it on TikTok, I'll put it on LinkedIn. You'll know about it, trust me. As soon as we have a new destination, as soon as I can make any kind of announcements, I will. It's always very hard not to, pre the Paris announcement, it's very hard not to give any hints away, that I'm just not able to do it, unfortunately, for various reasons. But yes, another good place is our community newsletter. So they tend to get early bird access, if you will, to little pieces of information. For instance, last week, or even the week before, we had the Paris promotional summer giveaway, which was a very, very, very cushy £250 EasyJet holidays voucher. But people that were signed up to our newsletter had, early bird access to that. So they were the first people to get an email in the morning to say, we're hosting this giveaway, off you go, get your name in the pot really quickly. And similarly to any new destination announcements, they will be the first people to know. So if you're not signed up, please head to our website, southendairport.com, join the community newsletter. I think there is a pop-up sort of halfway down the page that prompts you to put your email address in. So yeah, it'd be great to have you on my database. Thank you very much. Okay, what else have we got? So Michelle asked, when will the restaurant be opening again? So truth be told, I don't believe it'll be opening again this year. Say, for instance, we had a massive influx of new flights suddenly, then yes, maybe we would. it's just more of a staffing thing right now, based on, you know, there's not, I don't think there is flights. There isn't a whole day full of flights to then imply the terminal will be full of people. If it was full of people, there'd be higher demand to have, you know, different outlets open. At the moment, you know, maximum 4 commercial flights a day. So it's just not quite worth it financially on our side to open the restaurant up. But we do have Sky Cafe, which is a brand new outlet. So that's selling your sandwiches, your juices, your coffees. And we've got a new coffee supplier. I think it's like Little Roastery Coffee. That's definitely wrong. But I've had feedback and everyone says it is really lovely as well. So make sure you pop down to the Sky Cafe and say hello to the team. We've also got the Pilot Bar. And that's where you get your pink champagne, your Shandon, which I'm pronouncing wrong, which is a lovely fancy alcohol, I don't know. Yes, and that's more of your alcoholic refreshments, your cocktails. You've got tapped cocktails in there as well. If you were lucky enough to fly out with us, 2 weeks ago we had our first inaugural flight to Amsterdam. We had a lovely pop-up with a rep from Tapped Cocktails handing out free little samples, which was really fun for people. So yes, so this year probably not for the restaurant, i.e. the Navigator pub, but we do have Sky Cafe, we have the Pilot Bar. There's also WH Smith for your meal deals, and you've got World Duty Free as well. I'll have to check if they sell Giant Toblerone in World Duty Free, because I don't know, and I think that would make a great little post on Facebook. So yeah, have no fear. There's plenty of options for you to get some food. Of course, you know, we'll make sure of it. Okay, John. Hi, is there a commercial reason the budget airlines haven't returned? Right, I see occupancy at all-time high. Stansted at, I'm not going to say that. I'd use whatever airline flies from Southend, thank you. Heard a rumour that budget airlines hope to ruin Southend and buy the whole place in a fire sale. No. Ignore. Is there a commercial reason? The commercial reason, I suppose, is that we are just continually having these conversations with airlines, and that it takes a very long time. There's lots to consider, lots of different factors to slot into place when you are looking at these kind of deals. And like anything that is of, you know, it has such an effect here, it has such an effect on where you're travelling to, it has an effect on, you know, passengers. There are so many factors involved that there's so much to consider for us as the airport and for them as the airline. So no, there's no reason why they haven't returned, and they will return, just not today, I guess. I mentioned earlier that the aim really is 3 to 5 years to get back up to a really good level, and hopefully, you know, recover our 2019 levels, which was about 2 million passengers. At the moment, we're looking at about 140,000 for this calendar year, which is still, you know, there's a huge gap there, obviously, but it's very much on the up from last year, which was way less. So yeah, no reason, they'll come. Just wait, and yeah, one day I'll be able to announce it on Facebook for you, and we'll all be really happy. Okay, next question. This came from Instagram, so I don't know your name, but I know that your handle is uk.spotter. So you asked, do you know what dates the BBMF, which is the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, Red Arrows and Typhoon display team will be here? Yes, I do. The answer on the whole is that they'll be here over the period in August for the air shows in Eastbourne and Folkestone. So that is August the 17th to the 20th. Definitely from the 17th. They won't necessarily all be here at the exact same time. I think they come in separately and land in separately, just based on schedules and, you know, when they're performing. But yes, over that weekend, I think it's actually a Thursday. But yeah, 17th to the 20th, roughly. I did mention earlier that we won't be hosting at the moment apron tours like we did last year, and there won't sort of be an official pay to attend viewing area. It's more because commercially we've definitely increased our operation. So in August we will have flights that are operating by EasyJet, so to Faro, Malaga, Palma de Mallorca, Amsterdam, and in winter we'll have Paris. But yes, so in August we will have lots of flights happening just generally. that includes the jet centre as well, which is lots of private charter flights, business jets, all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's more from a safety perspective this time around. We just wouldn't be able to facilitate masses of people turning up in the hopes that they could go airside and go up to the planes and take pictures. It's just not viable, like safety, security, all that sort of thing, which is a shame, because obviously it's great that they're here. But of course, you know, do support the air shows themselves. So do, if you can, head up to Eastbourne or Folkestone and pay for your ticket and go have a look, because we want these shows to continue, and we'd happily have them back every year as their base. But yeah, we just have to consider them and consider, you know, safety and security here. So, you know, it's very important. That is the top priority. Okay. What else have we got? I'll go soon. Sorry, I realise I've gone on for like nearly an hour. This was meant to be half an hour, so I am really sorry. Have I missed any questions on here? Because I've got 33 people that are still watching. Here we go. Trevor, are Air Horizon going to continue basing their aircraft at Southend? I hope so. They're fantastic aircraft. I don't know if, I assume you've obviously seen them. They're based at the Jet Centre. I'm saying based just generally, I don't know officially. They're currently parked, if you will, at the Jet Centre. They used to be based here for definite, yes. They did go for a period of time, but the plane it's back here now. Whether it's based in terms of aviation speak or not, truthfully, I don't actually know the answer. That's more of a Jet Centre question. They manage private charter, business, all that sort of thing. But I'll find out, because it would be a nice one to shout about if they are sort of officially back. It's great to have the planes there. There's lots here this morning, actually. I can't show you necessarily, but there's quite excuse me. There's quite a few parked over at the Jet Centre at the moment, so it's nice. It's always nice in the morning to stand up and there's planes parked on the stand. Bob, thank you for taking the time and putting yourself in the firing line. Yep. I try my best. I try my best to answer. It's difficult, you know. I want to be as positive and upbeat as possible for everyone, and as open as you know, and as transparent as I can be. Naturally, in certain scenarios and certain questions, my hands are tied in what I can and what I can't say. But I do try my best. Same with the social media content. I do try my best to keep you all informed. Whilst also trying to sell tickets. Naturally, that's the aim of the game. Yeah, okay. What else is on here? Have I missed anything? I probably have missed some questions, and I am very sorry about that if I have. Will Barcelona be back? I would love Barcelona to fly from Southend, because I love Barcelona. Again, it's the age-old question, really, of, like, you know, destination Scrabble or something. Yes, in an ideal world, yes, it will come back, but it takes a lot of time. We have certain target destinations that we're looking at the moment. Not to say Barcelona isn't one, but again, I can't sort of say one way or the other as to whether, like, I can't categorically give you a confirmed answer. I don't know the answer. I can't predict the future, if you will, but it would be wonderful. So yeah, fingers crossed. Once again, any announcements, they'll go on our social media, they'll go on our newsletter, so keep your eyes on there, sign up to the newsletter, check out our new website. There's lots going on. Oh, you're welcome. Sorry, I would love to say yes, but, you know, fingers crossed. And if it's something that we can sort of prove to, like, show to airlines that, oh my gosh, suddenly the demand for Barcelona has just gone through the roof, it might be somewhere they consider. But again, even if they did consider it, the likelihood of it happening this year is very, 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 very low, purely because there are so many factors involved, and it just takes time to go through all the different processes of, like, you know, securing a route, approval, securing staff, training of staff, you know, getting more baggage handlers in here, getting crew available on their plane, all that sort of stuff. Oh, thanks, Jen. It's a tough gig, but we do what we can. I think that's, one more question. So this comes up quite a lot. I promise this is the last one. I've got 1 minute and I will go. Often people will ask me, you know, I've answered this already, I'll do it again one more time. People often ask me, why are you London Southend Airport? And the answer is that it's quite simple, really. You know, we serve Southend, yes, but we also serve London. Our catchment is 8.2 million. And that encompasses London, that encompasses Southend, Essex, upwards towards, you know, Colchester, Ipswich. You know, so there's 8.2 million people that we want to try and encompass and entice into flying from London Southend. You know, the connectivity between London and us is a very short train journey. It's 53 minutes from London Liverpool Street on Greater Anglia, and with the introduction of the Elizabeth line, it opens the world up even more. You know, you can jump on at Shenfield and then connect all the way down here to London Southend. So that's the reason. So yes, I'm just gonna say thank you very much. I think I've answered everything that I can possibly think to answer. Hopefully, you know, hopefully it's cleared up a few things. I've answered a few questions about the Red Arrows, about Paris, which will be flying from October. They'll be flying out Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. It's quite regular, which is really good. And it's a new year-round service as well. So once it starts in October, that's really good for us. It's our first sort of secured winter flight, and it will continue on into next year as well, which is fantastic news. Okay, so yeah, keep following us, please. I will attempt to do another one of these very soon. You know, it's nice to sort of engage with you directly and answer your questions. So yeah, keep an eye on our social media. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter. Follow our new TikTok. It's a little bit more fun over on TikTok if you're interested in like silly dances and whatnot, or dogs, therapy dogs. They do feature on TikTok. Yeah, sign up to the newsletter, check out our new website, and as always, please #fly London Southend. All right, I'm gonna go and have some lunch. Thanks everybody, bye.